Hey there, everybody. I'm King 5 meteorologist Leah Pizzetti, and we are going to extend our forecast, take a deeper look at everything going on. We've had a pretty exciting day. It's almost 4 o'clock right now on Thursday afternoon. We saw everything from sunshine to thunderstorms back to sunshine, and you know what? We're actually not done with the rain yet. So first I want to take a look back before we look forward, because we do have more excitement that is on the way. Let's take you to Everett and Tacoma right now. Both areas showing interesting situations. We do have some cloud coverage out there, but we also have the sun peeking through as of right now. Here's a look at satellite and radar. This is a loop of the last 6 hours, and this shows everything we've seen today. We started dry and then we moved those showers in, and they brought with them thunderstorm activity as expected. So a closer look down to the south, and we can see some of those showers are continuing to roll through. I want to take you up to the north now. Looks like Bellingham just saw some thunderstorm activity move through. It's starting to clear, but a good amount of lightning affiliated with this as well. I'm seeing probably close to a dozen lightning strikes with that cell that moved through over the San Juans and then into western Skagit and Whatcom counties. I do want to zoom out and actually take out the precipitation. This is a loop of the last 2 hours. So this is kind of our afternoon hours during the day. And this is all of the lightning that we recorded. So a couple strikes over the Olympic Peninsula, a couple east of Seattle between I-90 and Highway 2, and then a good amount over our islands, kind of the northern Salish Sea. So yes, it's been pretty unstable today, and that did lend itself to that thunderstorm activity. Rainfall totals for the day. Now keep in mind, we saw some early morning rain right after midnight, plus we saw those thunderstorms move through. So this is a combination of both. This is rain total since midnight. Seattle's seen close to 1/3 of an inch of rain, so it looks like that's our reading from the airport. That's one of those areas that likely got caught under one of those cells, and that helped increase totals there. Not quite as much over the coast. We see our highest rainfall totals, and those darker blue colors are indicating where we're seeing our highest totals. Those have been mostly around the Sound, but a couple tenths of an inch at best. If you did see any thunder or lightning, send us a photo, 206-448-4545. Let us know if you felt those thunderstorms, if you saw those move through. And of course, as we look forward into tonight, we've been talking about the lunar eclipse. That is this evening, Thursday night. This is a look at kind of what we'll be seeing and when. So here's a look at just after 10 p.m. is when we will start to see the partial eclipse begin. Then into about 11:30 p.m. That's when the total eclipse begins. We hit the maximum eclipse right around midnight, and we continue at total eclipse status until about 12:30. So the sweet spot is going to be between 11:30 p.m. and 12:30 p.m. just about. Then we'll slide back to partial eclipse status, and that will continue until close to 2 a.m. So we have a good just about 4-hour window when we have the potential to see at least some of an eclipse. So lunar eclipse heading our way this evening, but of course the question of the day is, will the sky cooperate? That is the fun part about living in Washington. We may have cool things happening with astronomy, but we may not necessarily be able to see them. Fortunately, it actually does look promising into tonight to at least be able to see a little bit at some point. Here's a look at this evening, 5:30 p.m., and we do have those spotty showers that are going to continue to move through. But then as we progress later on tonight, this is 11:30, so right at the start, we do have some showers over the coast. So coastal communities will be a little bit harder to see it, and we do have a convergent zone that sets up. So if you're in that typical convergent zone in Snohomish County, you may have some harder problems to see it. But look north of Snohomish County into Skagit and Whatcom, between about Everett and Bellingham. We actually see some breaks in the clouds there. Same thing between about Tacoma and Seattle. You have some breaks in the clouds there, and around Olympia as well. So as we know, you can still see the moon even if it is a cloudy night, especially because the kind of clouds we're going to have tonight aren't necessarily those dense clouds. We'll get that filtered look into the sky as well. So I do expect us to have the potential to see at least a little bit of it, and that continues. This is a look at 1 a.m. So once that's wrapping up, we're going to continue with those conditions. Some showers along the coast. The convergent zone keeps it a little bit harder, but many of us will be able to see that lunar eclipse tonight, Thursday night. As we look forward, we do still have a good amount of rain in the forecast. Tomorrow's an interesting situation. It's going to be our coldest morning of the week. So Friday morning, we're waking up to lows at and even below freezing. It does look like we'll drop below freezing around South Sound and our southern parts of western Washington. Same thing up to the north, and then of course our passes, and then actually off to the east as well, Leavenworth and Wenatchee, looking at sub-freezing temperatures. So that cold weather does mean that as we bring in those showers, which we do still have some lingering showers early in the morning, we could see them fall as snowflakes. It's going to be pretty hard for it to stick. We haven't been below freezing for quite some time now, so the ground is not very cold, so sticking is going to be tricky. And that being said, we could see some snowflakes falling. So here's a look at 2 a.m. around the Hood Canal area. We see a couple flurries potentially falling, some wet snowflakes, and then that cell over the Olympic Peninsula kind of lifts up toward the Strait of Juan de Fuca. So we could see some wet snow mixed in there along the strait, the northern end of the Olympic Peninsula. Same thing around the convergent zone, Skagit, Whatcom, Snohomish counties. If you see a couple stray showers moving through early in the morning, they could be some wet snowflakes, but nothing is expected to stick, and if it does, it will melt quickly. Into late morning, we're going to hold on to some cloud coverage, but we're going to see some sunlight trying to peek through. So filtered sunlight into late morning. Then by the time late night rolls around, this is 10 p.m., almost 12 hours after that, we're going to see the next push for rain. This time it's moving in from the south. So honestly, overall, Friday is going to be a dry day. We'll see a little bit of sunshine even peeking out. We could see some stray showers, but overall a dry day ahead, and temperatures will be warming up. Today we saw highs in the 40s. Tomorrow we'll finally get back into those 50s. This is closer to seasonal norm, but we're approaching conditions where we typically see highs in the mid 50s. So still a degree or two cooler than normal. As we head into the weekend, we're seeing kind of a change in the setup. I zoomed this out for us because I want you to be able to see Oregon as well. This is that Saturday morning rain that I just mentioned. Late Friday night into early Saturday morning, we'll push some rain in from the south. So this is just after midnight Saturday. We're going to continue that trend into Saturday morning. This is 7:30 a.m. here. It does look like we'll see a good shot at some widespread rain. Mostly north of King County will be the heaviest rain to start your day Saturday. And we'll get some mountain snow as well as we head into this weekend. But then check this out by Saturday evening. Look at Oregon. Oregon has much stronger rain heading its way. Washington, yes, we'll have some rain, but really the heaviest rain is going to stay south of us. So for Washington, the heaviest rain will be along that Washington-Oregon border, and we'll keep a lot of the rain down to the south during the day on Saturday. So northern communities won't see quite as much rain. We'll also see wind picking up during this time frame. So here's a look as that moves into Washington. It's going to pick that wind up, gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Look possible, especially down to the south. So southern areas will see the strongest wind. And of course, as we look at our 7-day forecast and we look forward to next week, Thursday is the spring equinox, Thursday morning, early in the morning. So that is the first official day of spring. We are going to warm temperatures up a little tiny bit into the mid 50s. So that's much closer to normal for this time of year as we head into next week. But that is an extended look at your forecast. Be sure to stay with the King 5 weather team all weekend long as we keep an eye on your weekend forecast.